And welcome everybody to Beyond the Headlines. You see me, you see Linda Paris. We're here and we have an amazing topic tonight. Linda, welcome. Thanks for joining us again. This is not my program, this is our program, and we're live. So let's say hello to everybody. And thanks for everybody for stopping in on a Friday evening. It's very nice. Doing okay tonight?
I'm doing great, and thank you, Thomas. And we had such a good time the first time we did this. It was
Yes.
so organic, and it was so much fun to talk about this subject. And this subject that we're talking about tonight, I know a lot of people are interested in this because when I showed the graphic in the promo, a lot of people commented that they were fascinated. And it's a broad brushstroke topic, but there are these cases that we can kind of springboard from the cases of the Dutch girls and the Dyatlov Pass. And then today I sent you the link to Superstition Mountain, and I was wondering what you thought of that whole thing.
Well, what I want to say is that Linda's done so much research on this. I don't know if you guys saw the promo she put out. Well done, amazing. I mean, it was so well done. I hope it's got everyone's attention because there's a number of things. There's a number of varying ways that we can go about this. Is this the government? Is this Bigfoot? Is this ETs? What is it, and why is it happening? This is something that I think a lot of people don't know about, and I think that they should know about, because there's the story you showed me of these two girls. What were they, 18? Close?
They were like 21.
21. Two 21-year-old girls, and they just go missing. They're gone.
And they were healthy.
Yeah. They look like normal people. And then they're just gone. So Linda, could you bring everyone up to speed? Before we do so, if you are new to this channel, if you're new to Linda's channel, McAllister TV, we need to subscribe right now. This is a show that me and Linda do every Friday, Beyond the Headlines. If you're unfamiliar with this is more conspiratorial. Not to say that it's more reaching. I think it's more interesting, even though the news is insane. This is kind of delving into more of a, what would you describe it as? More of a story? I don't know. Fictional?
Well,
if not fictional. I'm not saying that, besmirching it. What do you think?
the way I look at it, Thomas, is that we've been told by QAnon that, and look, even if we weren't told by QAnon, I mean, we can all see something's very wrong here with these people, and we know what they're doing already. I mean, the thought that they're not human does come to mind, because how could a human being do these things to other human beings? That is the big question. And the whole fact of the cannibalism and all that stuff. So,
correct.
But we have been warned by Q that this is the kind of information that's going to drive people insane. It should scare everyone. I mean, I know that I've heard that before, that this should scare you. And the information you're about to learn should scare you. And
absolutely.
A lot of people are going to go insane and all of this stuff. So I look at our time here as stretching our brains. It's not that we're saying
expanding our thinking, right?
Right. Just practicing getting our brains ready for what come. And it's fun to explore these things, there's the other side to it where it is fun to explore these things, and it's a part of history that has been hidden from us, and such as this Superstition Mountain. They're talking about that there were dwarfs. There were like 1,000, this tribe of Indians that were dwarfs, and they came there and they settled at the base of the mountain, and they were peaceful.
Yes.
They were running from some other entity, and they stayed for 5 years and then they left. So, they found some of the skeletons. That's the thing. And they also found giant skeletons there. So they found both giant skeletons and dwarf skeletons around there over the years, but they've covered it up. That's the thing.
Because people can't handle that. They talk about giants, like giants. Like what is the tree? It's a mountain. It's like a basin that's out there. It's a plateau, and people are like, this is not made of rock. This is made of wood. Like they're saying that there were trees out there that were the size of an apartment complex that would stretch 1,000 feet into the sky, and we can't even wrap our heads around that. And then we see skeletons that are found that are people that are a femur bone is like 3 feet long, 4 feet long. It's like, what are we dealing with here? What are they hiding? Which is insane. But that's another story for another time. That could be another Beyond the Headline,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So can you, I'm looking up the promo. If you could resend me the promo you use, I really want to play that on the stream. I'm looking for it right now.
Okay. I'm going to, well, wait a minute.
Okay. That's fine.
You know what? I sent it to you. I'll find the email where I sent it and forward it over here because it's on this computer. But one thing I wanted to say that guy from the Phoenix
Enigma,
he brought this up in that video about the Superstition Mountain. And he said that all these state parks are on ley lines and stuff.
No.
And that the government came in and made all these places state parks so that they could control what went on these occult ley lines and stuff. So doesn't that because don't you ever wonder, it's like the kind of thing how come we have state parks? Well, they always come up with some cockamamie thing like,
sure.
Oh yeah, well, it's to save the environment, this and that and the other. We're going to take control of this land.
Right.
But you never stop to think that all the other reasons they could be taking control of that.
Correct. Well, there's when you think of ley lines and you think of how much energy is palpable between these where they lie when they cross. Usually, when a ley line crosses at an intersection, there's a portal.
Right.
Correct. There's a portal. There's a vortex. Something takes place there that we are not up to speed with. We get these kind of hearsay antidotes from people here and there. Most of the people there are in like the paranormal phenomena, stuff like this, and it gets uncredited. Oh, but we're supposed to believe science. We're supposed to believe what we're told. No. You research, you figure it out for yourself, and I think these people, I believe independent researchers, these people out there are actually in the right direction. They're talking about vortexes, portals, they're talking about ley lines. You hear the term ley line, but it never goes beyond what a ley line actually is. So you're saying that there's all these people are going missing.
Well, they don't want us to know what the ley line actually is.
Correct. Yeah. Right. They don't want us to know. So what I'm saying is that you have these ley lines that are going under these state parks where people are missing. People are talking about extraterrestrials. People are talking about Bigfoot. People are talking about underground caves. People are talking about voodoo. Vortexes, it's crazy.
Vortexes and wormhole, breaking the eight. That's what they're talking about, these parks being on these places where they have portals. Portals, I guess, is the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
And this whole idea of that one thing is making this stuff happen, I think it could be a variety of things depending on what's going on geographically in this area, because this Superstition Mountain, it's got a very interesting history. It is like a volcano, but something happened with the volcano and there was a huge explosion there. So I'm not sure how that plays into everything, but it's a really interesting history, and the rock formations and everything around that area is steeped in all kinds of like ghost sightings and just everything you can imagine. And of course, the Phoenix Enigma guy said he wouldn't go in there alone.
We need to get him on here with us. What do you think? We got to reach out. We
Yeah.
got to reach out. If you want to send me that promo, I really want to play that, and I'll talk for a moment. So guys, again, if you're new to me and Linda's channel, subscribe to both, please. McAllister TV and True Reporting. Please go ahead and do that while Linda is searching. She's going to email me this promo video to bring everyone up to speed. Again, if you want to donate, you can donate to both our channels. Me and Linda both have PayPal's, Patreon. We all on this channel, we have True Reporting merch, and we also have a PO box. And if you want to, $2 to $3 to keep this channel afloat and Linda's channel afloat, you can go down to the bottom of the super chat and donate $2 to $3. If everyone right now, we're over 1,000 viewers right now. If everyone right now donated $2 to $3, this is to promote.
Should have it. It should be in there in a little while.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, this is it helps keep the channel afloat due to demonetization. It happens all the time. That's all I'm going to say. So throughout the podcast, this is 2 hours of free content. My platform, our platform, me and Linda's platform is your platform. And this is our show. This is not True Reporting. This is not McAllister TV. This is us together. And it's going to be extremely important tonight that you follow along. And I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. And I am going to actually bring up the promo video so that you guys can take a look. See here. Right? Here we go. Boom. Bringing it up real quick, like. Check this out, my friends.
Two beautiful, vibrant Dutch girls take
Oh, that
a
was
trip to
weird.
Panama.
What is happening with my
They go
computer?
hiking.
Real quick. I definitely want to show this. It won't.
Two
Why I want to
beautiful,
do it?
vibrant Dutch girls take a trip to Panama.
We're gonna do it. Just be patient, my friends. I want to show this because it's so important. Because Linda ties everything. She ties everything together, which is beautiful.
Two beautiful.
Hi, friends. I wanted to tell you. Oh my God. All right, it's not gonna do it. I'm sorry. It won't do it. I don't know why I can't bring it over to the other screen.
They can go to McAllister TV and watch it, and it is a quick mini thing that sort of explains these three separate cases, but there's so many more, and some of them are so strange. This Dyatlov Pass. You want to talk about this Dyatlov Pass thing for a while?
Yes, let's talk. Bring everyone up to speed. Everyone says your volume's a little low. I have the volume on my end all the way up.
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
You Patriot for life. Thank you so much for the super chat. Gail R, thank you as well. Hi, Linda and Thomas. Love you guys. I am going to have nightmare. Am I going to have nightmares after this? Trisha. I don't think so, Trisha. I think it's going to make you more, yeah. I think it's going to make you more aware of be careful in these places. Susan Huber, thank you so much for the super chat. For Snarky Linda. Absolutely.
Can you hear me better if I sit closer?
That's perfect. You're perfect. Okay. Ryan McAdams, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, where we go one, we go all. Enough said. I agree. Sunny Skies, thank you, Thomas and Linda, for all your hard work. Thank you. That's our new mod. That's my new mod. I love Sunny Skies. She does such a great job.
Yes.
And the others out there that did the same, thank you so much. I'll get back to you. Let's go ahead. All right, Linda. Bring us up to speed. And as you talk about it, I'm going to bring up articles.
Let me go ahead, and I'm just going to do a brief overview of these three cases.
Okay.
Now, the Dyatlov Pass is my favorite. I'm just going to start with it.
Okay.
And these 9 Russian skiers. They were students, and they were avid outdoors people. I think there was 2 women, and the rest of them were men.
Correct.
And Dyatlov was the guy in charge, and it was an exercise. It was an exercise. These were well established. I mean, they knew the outdoors. They were outdoors people. So they got up there and they set up their tent and everything was going fine. But something happened in the middle of the night. Whatever happened scared them so bad that they cut their way out of the tent, okay? They literally slashed at it, and there's photographs of the tent where it's just, you can see where they're madly slashing at it.
Oh
so
my God.
The front door, I mean, the tent had a door, it worked. There was nothing wrong with the actual exit part of the tent. So for whatever reason, whatever happened came down on them fast and loud or something, whatever it was. It scared them. They couldn't go out the front door. They had to cut
and
their
they're
way.
using knives to get out.
Yeah. They had to cut their way and slash their way. They did it fast. And they ran out half naked.
Wow.
They ran out half naked. It was like, I don't know how many degrees below. It was snow everywhere. It was just brutal environment. They ran out half naked. They ran down a hill and they huddled by a tree. Now, later on, when they went to the scene, what they found was some of them ran to the tree, and then something happened around there. Those people were found dead, a couple of those. And then other people ran to another place where there was like a natural kind of, it was like a ditch where they could kind of hide themselves or protect themselves a little bit. Well, when they were found, two of them were found with their tongues pulled out by the root.
Stop it. Are you serious?
I'm serious, by the root. And they were found with broken bones and crushed chests and just all kinds of injuries that were just not explainable. There wasn't any footprints but theirs. No footprints but theirs. And they had a camera. And some of their last pictures were just, and then there were lights, okay?
Here we go. Yeah, lights.
Yeah. And it was, I think somebody wrote in their diary or something that they had seen some orange lights. There was something about orange lights. So there were all kinds of theories floating around. Everybody has a theory. The one theory that I thought was possibly could be was that they had a heater by the front door and that maybe something happened with the heater, but there was no burn marks.
No.
And nothing was caught on fire.
So what are you alluding to? What do you think? ETs?
I think, well, first of all, I want to bring up another point.
Okay, absolutely.
A lot of these things are happening near caves.
Oh, these disappearances are happening near caves.
Okay, here's where my mind goes. Now, am I saying this is it? No. But if you want to play a game.
Sure.
Here's where my mind goes.
Okay.
I think of underground bases because I've seen like those charts, they're all the same. They have different levels. And on the lower levels, they have, I don't know whether they're interdimensional beings, but everybody virtually that comes out of these underground bases says the same things, that there's something down there, a life form.
Right.
That I don't know anything about, whether it's interdimensional or because remember we did that thing where Lamb and Crowley and all of that, and where the stuff that came out, these demons that came out of breaking the 8, which is what they're trying to do all the time, breaking the 8.
Break the 8, break the connection.
So the 8 is 2 different spheres, one to the other, and there's this thin veil that separates the spiritual dimension from the, our actual world. What was that?
No, I don't. My camera just cut out.
Anyway,
That was weird.
Yeah, that was weird. So that thin section that is in the center of the 8.
I want to say something real quick, because I thought of this when you're talking about all of this, the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
So we know who said that. Blair Witch. Where do we see that? D.D. Thomas. I thought the same thing when Linda brought this up to my attention about people disappearing in national forests. Some of these kids come back. Aren't they like they're completely naked, or they're like completely closed or whatever, but they're like 5 years old, 3 years old, something like that, and they come back, and that's the first thing that came to mind was the Blair Witch Project. Well, we all know that Hollywood they put stuff out there. The Matrix. Oh, you have, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You have The Shining. You have The Nun. You have, the Conjuring. These things are real. They put this out there because it is real, but they make it into movies so we don't believe it. We're just kind of like, well, I'm not going to believe that really happened because that was a movie. But is Blair Witch? Is witchcraft real? Yeah. Do people go missing in the woods all the time? So what I'm thinking is that I am on the same grounds with D.D. Thomas, who's saying, hey, Blair Witch Project. I agree. Could there be witchcraft involved? You even brought up to me voodoo, right? And we're going to get into that.
That was in the other case.
Sure. But it has a lot to do with this.
Well, I think different things are happening depending on the geographic area of where they are. Like anything near an underground base, I think it's going to be a different type of disappearance than maybe Superstition Mountain, although there's a lot of underground base activity out there. And they did place these parks on these locations. And I believe that Phoenix Enigma is absolutely, as soon as he said it, I was like, of course.
Right.
Of course, that's what they did. They snagged up all these occult places. Hollywood is located over a subterranean city.
Yes.
There's tunnels everywhere. Don't think they didn't know that when they chose that spot.
Absolutely.
It's also near a ley line, a major ley line.
Hollywood is?
Yeah, is.
Oh, that's purposely placed there. Not the ley line, but Hollywood is purposely placed over a landline. Absolutely.
Yeah, New York City is near one too.
What city?
New York City.
Oh my God.
If you look at the ley lines, you can see where a lot of these cities intersect with where there's a lot of, demonic kind of activity going on. And so I think it could have been something. They're doing a lot of experimenting on people down in those underground bases. I think they have been abducting people to take down into those underground spaces. Here's an interesting thing. In California parks, scientists are disappearing. It's just scientists. And there's this whole area where these really intelligent scientists just are disappearing. So I think that's strange, that
they're
it's
just disappearing.
Yeah, but
no trace, no DNA left behind, just vanished.
No, completely disappear. And here's another thing that happens. Little kids, a lot of little kids disappear from parks. Now, the problem with all of this is, if you're an abusive parent and you kill your kid,
yes,
well, then it's pretty easy to get away with it. You just go up to the park and you say, oh, well, my kid just disappeared, in the park. And, it's happening all over the country. So it's hard to tell which claims are real or which claims are not so real. But these kids, a lot of them, they're going up the mountain with a lot of people, but they get a little bit ahead or they straggle a little bit behind, but they're within sight.
Right.
They might round a corner for a couple seconds and they're gone. They disappear. Then their bodies are located, I don't know, sometime later on another mountain, like thousands of feet,
Teleported.
and that the kid doesn't have any shoes on. So, and it's like their clothes are all folded up and they're naked or something, and their clothes are all folded up next to them. It's just the weirdest thing. They cannot figure out how these people or kids, a lot of them are kids, but some of them are real, regular people, hunters.
Correct. People who know.
No shoes.
I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat right now that say, what is a ley line? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. A ley line refers to straight alignments drawn between various historic structures and prominent landmarks. Again, very historic structures also hold weight, and prominent landmarks, those hold weight. The idea was developed in the early 20th century Europe, with ley line believers arguing that these alignments were recognized by ancient European societies. So we're talking about,
witches.
What's that?
Witches.
Yeah, witches. You also have, I can't, the word's escaping me right now. What are the people that are always in the, when there are what is it?
The royals.
Royals also. I can't think of the word right now, but I'll get to it. Ancient European societies which deliberately erected structures along them deliberately. Since the 1960s, members of the Earth's Mysteries movement and other esoteric traditions have commonly believed that such ley lines they carry Earth energies and serve as guides for alien spacecrafts. Archaeologists and scientists regard ley lines as an example of pseudo-archaeology and pseudoscience. So anytime you trust archaeologists, I don't. Do you trust the Smithsonian? No, it's fake. You never trust those bones that are in there. They keep. Oh, you think the biggest museum in the world is going to actually give you 100% proof? No, they're not. So what they do is they try to besmirch ley lines and say that it's pseudo archaeology and it's pseudoscience. No. It's real. Ley lines are very real. They're palpable. And
let me add something to your ley line thing. The globe, and it has those lines going all around it, and then you have the equator going up.
Yes.
Those are your ley lines.
Exactly, ley lines. And I was thinking of the Freemasons. Yes, Sammy, the Freemasons is what I meant.
Yeah, so those lines that go around the globe and then come down and are like a wire frame, where they intersect is where all the power is. And I would imagine down there where Jeffrey Epstein is, down close to the equator.
Sure.
There might be some more powerful energy. And that island was located right on a crossroads of ley lines, right there by the equator.
Oh my God. Well, that thing that was on his island, people are like, it's a sundial. No, it's not. It's actually, it's a calendar where they actually perform sacrifices on different phases of the moon. You think these people are basic where they're like, it's a sundial. Oh, don't you like? No. These people are sacrificing people. They are into the occult. They are into these things. And when we talk about ley lines and we're building structures and people are going missing on these places, in these state parks on ley lines, are they sacrifices? I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's ETs. Is it? What do you think? Do you think it's ETs?
Here's another theory.
Let's go.
Because, I'm just going to say breakaway civilization and toss that out there.
Sure.
Because I believe there is a breakaway civilization underneath the ice in Antarctica, and that's what they found. And
I do too.
An advanced civilization, and the Nazis were able to get. And some of this interdimensional crap could have been going on.
Absolutely.
Down there. Because, John Kerry went down there on election day. He went down to Antarctica on election day.
Hey, what about when Jeffrey, on July 24th, his plane went down there and he's in prison. His plane went down there and all radars go down and then his plane was on the way to Antarctica. It blips. There's a blip in it, and it's back where it was over DC. What's in Antarctica? But we're getting away from it. Let's go.
Well, not really.
Oh, we're not. Okay.
There's and it's been scrubbed. I keep looking for it and looking for it and looking for it. See, these are the things that when you're first finding out about this stuff and you find these things and you're so shocked and scared that you think, I don't want this video on my hard drive anymore because it's scaring me.
Right. Yes. I've had many of those.
So then months later, I'm like, where's that video? I want that video again because it had some good information in it.
Sure. There
was this government scientist who was, it was a crew of, they called them researchers, that they were going to go down there and they were going to research for minerals and stuff like this. And they got lost and they were missing in Antarctica for like, I don't know, it was like weeks. And when they came back, everybody was quiet. They were all real quiet and they wouldn't say anything. And they were all looked dazed. They wouldn't say where they'd been or anything like that. They just were completely quiet. And they took them back and they've covered the whole thing up about these missing scientists. You can still find some stuff about it if you look about missing scientists in Antarctica. And I can't remember the year. If it comes to me, I'm thinking maybe the 60s even, it might be.
Sure.
It was sometime after the war, of course. But what happened was this guy who was there when they brought these people back talked about that they had seen these. Okay, I'm going to say it.
Say it. Say it.
Seen these reptilian creatures that were like lizards, and that they were like, these were 13 feet tall, this guy was saying. And he was scared. You could tell he wasn't making it up, that he really believes he saw it. And so when I listened to some of these, I have to say, are they being shown a hologram or what's going on here? Because this guy really seems like he believes it. And one of the things he said was that Eisenhower had made a deal with these creatures to get some kind of advanced technology. And this is what we were talking about the last time, about the interdimensional creatures.
Right.
How they were trying to get technology from, the government didn't want them to close back up that, what do you call it again? A portal. And so they were going to close it back up, Parsons. And I think Crowley would have been the type to have left it open on purpose.
Right.
Just all that stuff.
Well, yeah.
They thought he did it,
Well, no, yeah. You talked about the gentleman being blown up or whatever. I can't think of his name right now, but you're talking about Aleister Crowley. And I'm looking at the Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah.
Yes, and I posted that many a time in the stream, in the chat. So if you guys want to know what she's talking about, you can definitely do so. I mean, right now we have 1,700 people in the chat right now, which is we're approaching a record. I think the record was 2,100. So we're approaching a record tonight, Linda, which is this. Yes.
I guess my point is
Go for it.
There was technology back then, and there was these creatures that were asking for human beings that they wanted to experiment on. And that Eisenhower had made some kind of deal, and this is in a Freedom of Information Act document.
Freedom of Information Act document.
We're doing a stream of consciousness here. I wish I was going to bring this up.
No. This is what's so good about this show, is that we can kind of go on these tangents, and they're so informative that we have to stay on topic with them, because it's people aren't aware of it, and when you do that, it expands our consciousness and it expands the awakening. So we have to keep doing it.
Well, it's like
you're very good at doing that, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's like the Philadelphia experiment. I didn't realize they actually made a ship disappear in the Philadelphia harbor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't know that either.
That really happened. And so the guys at Montauk talk about it and everything. And I go into the old newspapers and there it is. It happens. So a lot of this stuff is real. You know, you were talking about the movies.
Yes.
I have this thing, Monsters, Inc. I haven't seen it, but everybody talks about it. And they say that in this movie, Monster, Inc. is about adrenochrome. And that they scare the little kids and they get off on it and they get energy from it.
I never even thought about that. I have a room full of people right now. Nobody knows that. Like, I have a bunch of people staying with me right now. And I just want to bring up a topic that Monsters, Inc., the movie. Do you remember this movie? It's a kid's movie. The whole part, the whole thing of that movie that Linda brings up is that you scare kids for energy. Adrenochrome, that's crazy to think about that. What's that?
Yep.
I don't know what his name is. I don't know. But she brings up a great topic. I mean, that's important that Hollywood, which I brought up earlier, pushes truth in our face, but we're so asleep. It's almost like they're mocking us in a way.
They are.
Right.
They are. But here's the thing. They, according to their religion,
Okay.
They have to tell us what they're doing.
Universal law, I call it.
Yeah, probably something like that,
Mhm.
you know. But they believe if they tell us in some way that they avoid the karmic backlash that way, that it's our choice. Now, I've had this conversation with people. See, here's my thing is, no, that's not the way it works. Because if I go by their rules, then I'd be researching my whole life, everything. You know,
Right.
point, you have to take somebody's word for something. I mean,
Well, I think that they have to. I think that
that weather report, you know, or wait a minute, let me check on the gasoline. Then wait a minute, you never leave.
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't work that way. You're lying, you're misleading, you're deceiving. It's a deception, and you're presenting it as fiction. You're not telling us this is really happening. You're presenting it as a make-believe story.
Right.
So that's why we don't believe. You know, we just
Correct.
think.
Yeah, you portray it as fiction, but in reality, there's so much truth to this. So it's you know, it's you're rubbing it in our face. You're mocking humanity, saying we know these things, we know the esoteric, we know the occult, and then you have plebs. You have people who are poor and broke. I mean, we are plebs to the elite, and they rub it in our faces. They smother us they ridicule us. Look at how the Dems talk about us, that we're dumb and we're low IQ and we're not elite. They're the elite. That's why POTUS is always like, hey, we're the super elite, because in reality we're one with God and they're one with the dark side. Right?
That's true, and we don't look like sea hags.
And we don't look like sea hags either. What are you talking about? The thick ankled? You talking thick ankles?
Oh, I like that.
You like it? The thick ankle dog face?
Yes.
I can't stand her.
Thick ankle, smelly pants.
Oh my God. Yeah. Garbage. So let's.
We almost had it as president. Thick ankles and
not on this timeline. Not on this timeline. We won't have her. And
so, I just want to say one more thing about this, because it's kind of scary when I tell this about
Go for it.
This guy was talking about these people that disappeared in Antarctica, that there were these creatures down there that were advanced creatures. But Arizona Wilder, do you know who she is?
I've never heard that name before, no.
She was a one of the first MK Ultra victims to come out, along with Kathleen, I forgot her name, Kathy, you know, the one that was Hillary Clinton's slave. Anyway, she's been around for a really long time, Arizona Wilder. She's from an elite family. She was put into the program early. And she was, Joseph Mengele was her handler. And she talks about Mengele. She's had sex with all the politicians, Bush, Cheney, all of them, Nixon, you know. It goes.
How old is this lady? Jesus.
Well, she was a kid. They were.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, she was part of that. So she's been down to the underground bases because she's been used by important people. And, I guess you get extra privileges or whatever, but she was taken down there by Mengele. And
People are saying Kathy O'Brien. Is that what you
Kathy
said?
O'Brien, but Arizona Wilder is the one that talks about the reptilians. And he says these people that are up here on the earth, like the Queen,
sure,
and all that.
You think the Queen's a reptilian?
Well, that's what Diana said.
Yes, she did say that.
Yeah.
And look what happened to her.
She said they lose their form, that they cannot come up here in their original state. They need the DNA, the human DNA, to keep their form. And there's certain parts of the human body that they use for all kinds of things. Like they put the fat from the intestines on their skin. They rub their skin with it. Yeah,
okay,
I know.
I got to say this to the group that's in here right now. I have basically a studio audience right now.
What I'm trying to get at is that
I've never heard that before. I wanted to share that. That's crazy.
There's a lot of people that say this. David Icke probably says this because he's interviewed.
People saying David Icke right now. They're saying it right now. Can I say this? I want to let them know because they can't hear us. So what Linda is saying is that you're saying that they use the fat from human intestines. Is that what you said?
Yeah, on their skin.
On their skin to reverse age.
Well, it keeps them from deteriorating.
It keeps them from deteriorating is what she's saying. That's what the elites do. Never heard that. Have you? We actually have JC Parker 369 here. He's not going to get on camera, but
here, you want me to try to put my microphone in and see if that makes it better?
You're fine. I hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, okay. I thought you couldn't hear me.
No. I have people in here with me in my office.
Okay.
Which is kind of fun. It's kind of like it's like a show. I feel like I'm on Stern or something.
Well, it's good to show your friends what you do with your spare time.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. But what is this? Oh my! Somebody said foreskin facials.
It's true. It's true.
She says it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's baby. I'm sorry. Baby foreskin.
It is baby. Yes. Yeah. I've heard that as well. So, let's get back into. I want to get back into the more of the forest and like the people who go missing.
Here's my point in all this.
Go for it.
These things do exist and they are underground, whether it's reptilian types or whether it's some kind of other types. They are abducting people. They are taking people somewhere and doing experiments and stuff like that. And you even hear these abductees talking about they'll come back and back and back and abduct them. It's like they're doing something to them and then they're, coming back and checking on it. So I think it could be that they see people and they think, oh, well, these people are dumbasses. They came up here in the middle of nowhere. We're going to take them.
Well, you have big ups real quick to a super chat that I've never seen before. Weeping Willow Tree. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. That generosity is unfathomable, to be honest. So, we have abductees, right? Are they? So what I've learned is that they're basically like the guinea pig. That they lay them, they take them, they bring them back. They take them, they bring them back, they take them. This is what they do. Like they're the experimentation of like what an ET wants to learn from like human, right?
I think they want to make people.
They want to make people?
Yeah, they're studying our embryos or taking the embryos. They're implanting, maybe mixing up gene splicing, mixing up their DNA with ours. They're mixing up animal
like a hybrid?
Human DNA. Yeah, they're messing around with our genetics and their genetics. And I think really this is just one little aspect. You also have the aspect where these cloning centers are supposedly down there, and a lot of people say all the people who are missing from parks,
yes,
that they have like underneath the Getty, They have like a Caligula, like a city that is like
Dr. Caligula?
it's like a Roman gladiator, like they have like a whole city, like a Caligula kind of effect, where it's like a Roman Empire down there underneath the Getty, and all the people missing from parks and all the missing kids and everything, that's where they go. They go down there and they're slaves. They're kept in cages, they're cloned, they're tortured.
But don't you think that POTUS knows about this or no?
I think if it's real, they all say it's real. That's where I'm. At first I kept going, this can't be real, because it freaked me out to think about that. And, but they all keep saying the same thing. So they believe it's real. I don't know whether they can do this with a hologram or what, but these people believe that all these missing people are down there. And there's a part of me that kind of believes that part too. So you've got Bigfoot.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that believe in Bigfoot. There's a lot of people that believe Bigfoot is friendly. But then there might be several different kinds of Bigfoot.
What I want to know, what I've researched, I don't know if this is true. I'm not trying to give disinformation out there. I'm just saying, hey, use your discernment, use your logical thinking. I've heard that Bigfoot was actually an off-world entity that they placed here to see how it would do with humans, that it's actually taken from some other we'll say planet and then brought here to see how it could live with us.
Well,
I don't know, that's just what I've read.
To that point,
okay,
a lot of people have said that there is more than one kind of
correct.
Yeah.
Well, you have the Yeti, you have the abominable snowman, you have Sasquatch, you have swamp ape, you have there's many more. What is this? What are you doing?
I'm rubbing intestine fat on my arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
For my skin.
There you go. Yeah. That's there's I don't know, that's different names for these things, but one has white fur or white hair. The other one is like dark and stinky, the swamp ape in Florida, down your way. And then you have Bigfoot, who's more of in like the upper Midwest, Wyoming, Idaho, what is it? The national parks that are up there. The beautiful, like, what is the national park up there? I can't think of it right now. What is it?
The Grand Canyon, the Yosemite.
Yosemite, yeah. You have, that's where these things are seen.
Yeah,
and I believe that the Bigfoot actual footage was taken in California.
Here's another thing.
Okay.
If you're going into the Grand Canyon, into all these parks and stuff, what you're going to find is a lot of occult names and a lot of Egyptian names. So there's like a lot of these occult names for these places. Who did that? Who named these places? And, we've already talked about the idea about them scarfing up that forest land and making it parks, because they knew occult activity was going on those particular locations where those forests and parks are. And if you listen to David Paulides, he talks about how they were covering it up. Like everywhere he went, he could never get any information. And finally, one guy, a park ranger, took him aside and said, look, I'll tell you whatever you want. I think he was retired.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason he talked about it. But he said, there's so many people missing from these parks, you wouldn't believe it. He goes, you don't even know the half of it. So there's more people missing than we hear about.
So somebody brought up something in the chat that there are Sasquatches actually all over the world.
Yeah.
And there's one there. We have a fellow digital soldier in here from Australia. And what did he say it was called? In Australia, we call it a yowie, Yowie, a yowie. That's what you guys call it over there. So is there a Bigfoot in Australia? I know there's a Yeti. I'm sure that was in Russia.
Are you asking me?
No. You too. I mean, I'm asking everyone, you included, that's.
they're hiding so much, but I think
Yowie.
what we're going to find is that everything is everywhere all over the world, because
Very good point. Very good point.
there are pyramids out in the Grand Canyon, there are pyramids in Antarctica, and there are pyramids in South America.
Right.
Pyramids are popping up all over, giant skeletons. And what's interesting is I have this article somewhere, I don't have it with me now, but this guy found these 30-foot skeletons out in the it was somewhere near the Grand Canyon, and he went out there. He was doing something. This is back in the 1800s, this small little crappy town. And he went out there and he found these giant 30-foot skeletons. Well, he went back to the town. He told everybody about it. Somebody got a hold of somebody. I don't know whether they had to ride on a horse or whatever, but they got the word out that they found these giant skeletons. Well, nobody ever came. And so people started taking the giant skeleton bones home and they would put them on their coffee table. And a bunch of them were in the general store for a real long time, and people would go and look at them. There were all these giant skull and everything in there. When they put them together, it was a 30-foot tall man, though. Do you know how many giant skeletons?
But you're not gonna see that in the Smithsonian. Guarantee you that, because the Smithsonian is garbage. Museums are garbage. It's all fake. It's all propaganda. What were you about to ask me?
Do you know how many giant skeletons have been found all over the world?
How many?
Over 27,000.
Ridiculous. And yet it's not brought to our attention. There's a reason for that. They want us in the dark. 27,000 giant skeletons found, and we don't even know. People make fun of that. That's why you have what is that movie? Or that, it's an old kids movie where the Jolly Green Giant and all that stuff. They climb. What is that called? What is that movie? Please, somebody in the chat, please tell me, what is that movie called? With the giant, he climbs the green vine up into the clouds, and there's a giant up there. This is made to.
Oh, you're talking about the nursery rhyme, Jack the Giant and
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk. It's a fairy tale. It's make believe. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not.
And Thomas, what did they have before they had television? They had books. And this guy Leighton, he wrote this book, and I forgot the name of it. Oh God, that's going to haunt me. But he wrote the book about the place under Antarctica, about this whole civilization under the ice in Antarctica, the inner world, and all about the Vril and the Vril energy. And the Nazis were obsessed with this fiction book that Lord Leighton had written. And they sent ships out to Antarctica to find this place. And I kept thinking, why are they reading this fiction book? And they're investing all this money in ships and explorations out to Antarctica based on this fiction book. I couldn't figure it out. It's because they knew they were secret societies, even back then. They knew. Lord Leighton, he wrote the book, and somewhere in there they were speaking to each other.
Somebody brings this up. You're talking about Antarctica a lot. Somebody brought up Admiral Byrd. I mean, I've researched that a ton. Was there any word of him? I know that he saw, mammoths, woolly mammoths in there, and then there was no ice, and it was actually green and waterfalls and all sorts of things. And
go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say, was there any talk from Admiral Byrd about giants?
Not about
research Admiral Byrd, friends, if you have not heard about him.
What he talked about were giant creatures.
Sure.
Like the woolly mammoth and the big pterodactyl and all this stuff that he says he saw. And they took a movie of it, and there were people, I don't know if they might be all dead now, but there were people who had actually seen the newsreel with the actual video of it, because apparently he was, I don't know whether he made that particular journey with his son, who was later died under suspicious circumstances.
Correct.
Byrd died under suspicious circumstances. And anybody associated with the Operation High Jump, which was where they sent Admiral Byrd out to Antarctica, down to Antarctica, because they heard they had an underground base down there. The Nazis did.
Well,
And
real quick. Great point, right with where you're at. Slim Frank says, true reporting, I've seen videos of UFO attacks against Admiral Byrd's fleet.
there you go.
Boom, right on target. Thank you, Slim.
And I think the really interesting thing about his report, Admiral Byrd's report, because it's out there, and he also had a diary, and they made the movie, I think it's called Lost World or something like that, out of Admiral Byrd's diary. But I thought
Jurassic Park, The Lost World?
Well, it's called The Unknown World or something. I'll have to find it, but they made a movie. One of the guys that was on the expedition had Admiral Byrd's diary, and he wrote this movie. They made a movie out of the whole thing about what they found in the inner Earth. They called it the inner Earth. It's just in the crust of the Earth. But this guy, Admiral Byrd, had said that when they went out there, something came out of the water. Well, first of all, there were orbs flying up there,
Yes.
shooting at the beams and stuff they'd never seen before, flying orbs all over the place.
Correct.
But I thought this was so interesting. They said they had discs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the discs apparently came out of an underwater cave area from an underwater entrance. So the discs came out under the water, right? And they came up, and then they dropped back down. And then they came up, and then they dropped back down. So there were about 5 of these discs doing that, and the water was agitating like a big washing machine because of it. And the boats were careening. I think one big warship just completely tipped over because of the force of this agitation. It was like they were in a big washing machine. I mean, how could you even make that up?
No, you can't make that up. You can't make it up. It happened. Admiral Byrd's story is real. There's a reason that it's suppressed on the internet. It's hard to find, but if you look, you can find it. Admiral Byrd, Byrd. Look it up, my friends. It's very real.
He was a 33rd degree Freemason. They were only
That's correct.
Every single explorer that went to Antarctica before a certain date was a Freemason, and probably after 33rd, they were all 33rd degree Freemasons. They didn't send regular people. No, plebs. People get mad when I say that. That's what we are. That's what we are. Sadly, we are that. We are a slave race to an elite group of people. And POTUS, our president right now, who is a light being, a light worker, is reversing it. That we will all be very wealthy when we get that cord cut from the Federal Reserve, and then all debt is erased. Then we all are playing on the same level playing field. That's what it is. We're plebs. They're not Admiral Byrd, they're not gonna send some Joe Schmo down, some regular pilot, no offense pilots. They're not gonna send some Joe Schmo down to Antarctica to fight Nazis, right? Quote unquote Nazis. They're not gonna do that. They're going to send a high elite 33rd degree Freemason down into this place, what they know exists, and they're going to take care of business that way. And as Slim has told us, which you concur with that idea that, hey, Admiral Byrd's fleet was met by an opposing fleet of ET crafts. Well, they could have been interdimensional.
True.
But the
Nazis were down there.
ET. I'm not saying they're not ET. I'm not saying they're not interdimensional. I'm just saying the field is wide open there. But Forrestal, who went with him, he wanted to talk about all this, and they threw him out of a window of the hospital. They had him.
They can't let it out. Hey,
to a hospital.
You could bring it up to modern time. People are like, hey, what happened to Jeffrey?
So my
He was
point
gonna
is,
yap. He was gonna yap.
yeah. Well, I don't think
Supposedly, but I believe it happened.
dead.
Really?
I think it was a suicide or a Arkansas trap.
Me too.
I think they knew that the Clintons were going to try to take a hit out on him, and they set a trap.
Yeah. He was
I
gonna
think-
yap. He was about to yap.
Yeah.
But
he-
it's okay because it's all gonna come out. Everything's about to drop. I know we're getting off topic, but everything's about to drop with Prince Andrew. Wait, just give it a
I'm going
minute.
to bring it back around.
Bring it around.
So I think they had advanced technology back in 1940. What was that? 1943 or something?
Something, yes.
And so there's these orbs and these saucers and all this technology that we don't know anything about. People are talking about being abducted in saucers, and they have been on Unsolved Mystery and every other television show, Alien Autopsy, all of that.
Sure.
So this has been pretty well documented. They can't get around this. So I think this could be related to what's happening in the parks because it's underground and it's advanced technology. And with this Dyatlov 5 or 9, these people that got their tongues ripped out and stuff.
Yes.
They saw a bunch of lights, a bunch of weird lights right before. And it seems like these lights are orbs. They could be described as orbs, but there were no other footprints. See, this is where I go with advanced technology or some kind of underground abduction that they were taken underground by some kind of advanced.
Sure.
Because there were no other footprints. And these people were running for their lives. They were slashing their way out of the tent. They were running for their lives. They were mutilated. I mean, some of them had their chests completely crushed. So you got to wonder, what the hell is going on here? Something's chasing them. They're afraid of it, but it's not leaving any footprints.
There's no trace. There's no DNA trace. There's nothing.
Nothing.
It's gone.
There's one
They're
thing.
just gone.
There was where the two of the guys that were found by the trees, and they didn't have any clothes on too. They're naked in the woods. What they figured out was the other people went back after they were killed and got some clothes and took it back with them because these people have been killed. But still, what's out there doing this? By the tree, they died, they got killed, crushed, whatever. And their hands were bloody masses. And you could see where all the branches they had tried to, climb up at the tree frantically. They had worn all the skin off their hands. So something was scaring the hell out of them. There's no footprints. There's only evidence of them freaking out and being horribly assaulted. There's no footprints.
So, absolutely. I want to bring it. I'm trying to find the pictures you sent me, but I think you could do it on your end. All you have to do is go to the bottom of Zoom and click share. If you just go to the bottom of Zoom, you'll see share right there in the middle.
Yeah.
And you can share your computer screen. And then when you don't want to share it anymore, you just click off. But I wanted you to show everybody, or you can resend me the pictures of the voodoo and like the cage or whatever that's in the bushes for people to see.
Wait a minute, I lost you.
I see you.
You do? Where?
Yeah,
Oh, there I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to resend them. That didn't go so well.
Yeah. That's fine. If you want to resend me those pictures. And guys, this is insane. It's very scary that these are the two women, right, Linda, that go missing. The two ladies that are like 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. Two ladies, 21, healthy. They're healthy as a, I don't know, an Olympic athlete. And they're gone. And the last pictures, all you can see is in the background, which I'm about to show you, looks like a skinned,
looks like an animal head.
A skinned animal's head, like a bull. a steer, and then you see a cage. There's a cage above. It looks like a voodoo man, a voodoo priest.
I just sent you those.
I'm getting it right now. A voodoo, witch doctor. It's insane. It's insane. Guys, if you're enjoying this right now, please click the like button. We have over 2,000 people in this right now. 2,000. So imagine, right? We can get 2,000 likes on this like that. For me and Linda, let's go. This is free content. Like, if you're enjoying your Friday night with us, this is so informative. You're not going to see this on the TV. This is the news, guys. This is fun. Linda, I'm stoked. I love this. I can't wait to show everyone these images you sent me. It's insane.
So you want me to go? You want me to narrate the
narrate it? Yeah. So I'll describe to you. I can share you my screen. Doesn't matter. So you can talk about it. Let me bring it up. Yeah. So Linda just sent me these images, and I will share them with you. Here we go. Boom. All right, guys. So let me share the screen with you real quick. Like I'll put it over both of us so you can see. Yeah. And I'm going to share my screen with Linda. Hopefully you can see it. Tell me can you see my screen? I
can't see your screen, but
you can't see my screen right now.
If they can see it, that's all that matters.
No, they can see it. Okay. So let me, oh my God, I don't know how to get off of that, but all right, it's fine. I don't have to share anymore. All right. Well, anyway, so let me bring this back up for everybody so that they can see it. Boom, there you go. So we have a lady who, as you can see here, she's going into what looks like a cave.
Now, let's talk about this for a second, okay?
Okay. So I'm looking at picture one if you want to look at picture one as well.
I got them all memorized by heart.
Okay. We're talking about this image right here over the right-hand shoulder of this young woman. This looks, what is that? Go ahead, okay. Linda, narrate it.
So to me, it looked like she was saying, hey, check this out. And she was pointing towards this opening. And in looking at it, I noticed it looked like there had at least at one time been a roof. It looked like a geodesic dome.
As we pull back, let me pull back. As you can see here, follow my mouse, everybody. Right here, look at these bars. Linda pointed this out to me. Look at these bars going over here. Like this, like a roof. What would you call it? A geo what?
Well, it almost looks like a dome-shaped roof, like a geodesic dome of some kind of like a framework, like to put thatched leaves and stuff on top of.
Yes.
And so it looks like at one time that was a thatched roof of some kind. But then off to the left-hand side, I saw what looked like a steer head on like a ladder or two.
Right here, yes.
So I put it in Photoshop. I thought, well, it's probably not that, because I thought I saw a couple other things in there. It turned out not to be that, to be leaves and stuff like that. But the closer I got to this thing, the more it looked like an animal head that was secured to two. And I kept thinking, what if they went into some voodoo doctor's, what if they stumbled upon some voodoo doctor's cottage,
his lair, right?
Or something. And he went chasing after him, because the last pictures, they're just all over the place. It's like, and I thought, this looks like somebody got a hold of the camera that doesn't know what it is and is playing with it. Because a lot of the pictures are just black. One is of the back of her head, but it looks like she might not be conscious or something. It's really strange. The last photographs are just a series of.
Okay, well let's go to photograph 2. Okay, we're gonna go to
I didn't include all those photographs. There must be 50 photographs online from these two girls all day long. But that one photograph where she's looking in that hut thing,
Yes.
I thought, what is this? This looks like some kind of voodoo witch doctor's hut or something.
Correct.
Perhaps they disturbed something and somebody came after them. And it was somebody that
There
wasn't.
we go. We zoom in right there. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. And then we can go to another one. That's the hut she's talking about. If you don't see the bars, we'll zoom in.
And I highlighted the bars on one of them.
You did really well. You did great with this.
Good.
So as you can see, she's highlighted what the hell this is. The young lady right here. And then a hut. These are where people go missing, friends. And then right here, boom, another zoom in on what in God's name that is. So just letting you guys know, we're bringing you up to speed. We bring fact with this. And I say, Linda, maybe would you want to take...
Nobody's talking about this.
Nobody.
Nobody says anything about the hut or this head, this animal head, it looks like to me.
Correct.
That's what it looked like to me. And the more I blew it up, the more it just verified that it was some kind of animal head, a steer head, like you said. Or
Justin
something.
Bear says, were these photos from the girls that went missing? Yes. Yes. Found. Friends. What's going on? You know? You want to take some phone calls? You want to take phone calls?
They were found dead.
They were both found dead.
Yeah.
So you tell me. So, you want to take some phone calls?
Yeah, sure.
I think you nailed it. I think we tied everything together. What the hell is going on? I mean, we don't know, right?
Yeah.
We don't have proof.
No, or that would have been the headline of our video.
Yeah, right. Proof. We have proof of disappearances. We have it. So yeah, let's take some phone calls because I think a lot of people are very, very interested. Again, guys, if you're enjoying this, there's 2,200. If we hit 23, that's a new record. If we hit 2,300 people, that's a new record. If everyone right now hit the like button, I would greatly appreciate that. And everyone go to McAllister TV right now and subscribe. Go to McAllister TV on YouTube and subscribe. Hit up Linda's PayPal. Hit up her Patreon. We work very hard. Hit up True Reporting. All the links are in the description. They're in the chat. And you can hit the super chat as well. If 2,000 people donated $2, right? Come on. Our platform is your platform on this night. This is what we do every Friday, Beyond the Headline. So definitely, guys, do your part as we do ours. It really does help. You pay $70 a week for $7 a month for cable. This is free, so do what you can. I'm not harping.
Yeah. You know, these people, they're saving me all kinds of money. I don't have cable anymore. I don't shop anywhere anymore. None of these stores. I don't buy Starbucks anymore. I don't do anything. You know, it's like they're saving me so much money. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. I
just wanted to round it out before questions by saying,
yes.
I think all the things that they're keeping from us, you know, I think it's all the stuff that we don't know, all the mysteries of the world, Easter Island, the pyramids, all of this stuff. I think it's all related to what's happening in these parks. And we're going to find out. Once we find out, it's going to be like an avalanche of knowledge for us because
I cannot wait.
Yeah, there's something going on and we have to find out what it is. Yeah.
Well, we're the news now, Linda.
Yeah.
You know? This is our job. This is God is calling us to do this. We're
not news hiders either. We're news finders.
Yes. We're not hiders. We're finders.
Yeah.
This is what we are. All right, here we go. Let's bring in the phone calls. Booyah. Right there, my friends. The first number is East Coast. The second number is Central. The third number is West Coast. And the meeting ID is down there at the bottom. Call in. We have 40 minutes left in Beyond the Headlines podcast. This is so much fun, guys. Linda, how great is this? This is
I know it just goes by. It just flies by.
We
The
got
time.
40 minutes. I'm really hoping that people call in with important questions, comments, or concerns, whatever, and we can dig deeper. I mean, me and Red Pill did we did a podcast the other day together. I was on his podcast, and we had a guy call in talking about the vortex that happened during oh my God, what was it? It was during over the I can't think of it right now. What is it, guys? The Gulf of Aden. Gulf of
Oh, I
Aden.
heard about
And there
that.
was a guy there who called in and witnessed it. How random is that? That's crazy. That's crazy that took place.
Yeah.
So it's that's just what it is. Let me there's going to be a lot of calls, so I'm having to mute them and line everybody up real quick. It won't take but a second.
There's so many things that we don't know. It really is. It's
I
going to
do
be.
not know why it's saying password. I think if you just type in password, I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and take these real quick. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Linda and Thomas. Who is this and where are you from?
This is Fred from New Hampshire.
Hey, Fred, how are you, man? Full-time caller. What's up, my man?
Not too much. Great show again, like usual. I want to try to clarify stuff for the audience if I can.
Absolutely. Real quick, it was not in the Gulf of Aden, what I said before. It was in Norway. The person from Norway witnessed it in real time. Okay. Go ahead, my man. Go ahead, Fred.
Picture what life used to be before the internet.
Okay.
So, like you bring your child to the pet shop and you buy them a little tiny ant farm. And they're literally inside this little tiny glass case, and you can watch them build the tunnels, and they have that only small surrounding.
Okay.
And once the internet came out, obviously it's like you moved them into a 55-gallon fish tank, so you have a much bigger area.
Yes.
So people can see more, and that's where we're at now.
Correct.
Now we know, like for example, when I won't say his name, but
Jeffrey.
His little island. When they were doing construction, Google blocked out all satellite images.
Correct.
So
they did.
So basically, they were hiding that from us, and that's what they do with Antarctica. That's what they do for Bermuda Triangle. That's what they do with all their bases.
Well said. So if you don't know, real quick, Fred, bringing everyone up to speed. If you don't know, if you go onto Google Maps and you're like, hey, what the hell's going on in Antarctica? Well, you're not going to know because it's blurred out. Hey, what's going on Jeffrey's Island? You won't know. Why not? Because it's blurred out. Why the F are you blurring this out? What are you hiding? Right? Continue, Fred.
So basically, what they're doing is they're doing modern day book burning by scrubbing people off of YouTube, scrubbing people off the internet, Twitter, etc. And the super elites that they call themselves, they take all the original history and they put it down for the Skull and Bones Society. So they actually know the true history and they rewrite history for the normies.
Yeah.
Fred, you're a very smart man. I want to thank you for the call. We have so many calls to get to. Very good points, as always. I'm very impressed, my man. Thank you, dude.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Go for it, Linda. Do you believe they're scrubbing? They scrub history.
They're doing more than that. They're trying to change the definitions of words. And that sounds like a benign thing. It's not at all, because we wouldn't be able to communicate with each other. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to fix it so that we can't communicate with each other. And they're doing it through the English language, which is extremely covert. But when you get two people who have different interpretations of a words, then somebody's going to get insulted sooner or later. There's going to be a fight. It's like only a matter of time. We have to communicate with each other. That's the big thing. And by changing the language, this is what happened in ancient Babylon. the people couldn't talk to each other. They were babbling. Nobody could understand each other because this is what they did back in ancient Babylon. They changed the language so that they changed the meaning of words.
Well, you're absolutely right. People are asking, where can they find pictures of those girls?
If you search Panama Lisette,
Hello.
Lissette, from FROM, I think, or from FROOM, Lisette from. If you search for her and Panama missing, they'll come up. I forgot the other girl's name, but.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, you guys got it now. So if you want to look up these, look them up. They're right there in front of you. All right. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Linda and Thomas. What's your name and where are you from?
Hello.
Hi.
Are you there?
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
She keeps, not you.
No.
I think you're referring to me.
Yes, I'm referring to you. Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. It's great to be back on the show with both of you.
Hi, Aaron. How are you, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, so talking about earlier in the conversation with this whole reptilian stuff,
okay,
I brought
here we
this.
go.
I brought this to your attention on past live call-in shows regarding the topic anonymous. And I think I told both of you before that so far a lot of what they've said has come true and confirmed by Q. I just want to get your thoughts real quick on one thing I've heard them say before that might also be true, now that we're talking about the R word. So I read one of their reports saying that there's something about our Earth and its magnetic field that when someone passes away, the soul gets caught up in the magnetic field, and it gets sucked into some kind of, I don't know, it goes somewhere where the reptilians want it to go to, and they use that as part of their food source. I don't know if you've heard of that thing before. You have? Okay. Could I get your guys' input on that, please?
Great info, Aaron. We're going to take your answer off air, okay? So we can move on to other calls. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate your phone call and the support, my man. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Aaron's talking about torsion fields.
Torsion?
Torsion fields and
okay.
Ether streams and torsion fields.
I've heard ether fields, yes. Go for it. I'm muting. We're good.
No,
No. Go ahead. No, I had to mute it.
That's all I was really going to say.
Okay. No, you're right. So basically what I've learned is that you have these archons. Oh my God, we're going to get into something crazy. Okay, so you have archons who are basically when people die and they say, real quick, I'm going to throw out an alert or whatever you want to call it. If you don't know what an archon is, and you don't want to know, basically this is, it could be a little disturbing. So from what I've researched for years is when somebody says, go to the light, I've heard that's fake. I heard that's actually a trap and that you get recycled by archons, which are demonic entities, and you were recycled back into this as a slave, back into this cycle over and over and over. So when people are like, go to the light, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Yeah,
that's what I've researched.
The light is the wrong light.
Correct.
Lucifer is the
Look
angel.
Up archons, guys.
And so you don't want to go to the light. But when I was interviewing Moano Savin, and he knows a lot about DNA and physics and stuff like that, and he was talking about torsion fields and ether.
Okay.
And without getting into any, because I couldn't do it anyway, any kind of physics explanation of it. Air is not the way we think it is, okay? We think air is light and we're breathing it in and we think we know all about it and what it's composed of. Forget about it. They've lied to us about that. The atmosphere around us, the very atmosphere around us is a lie, and it's not what we think it is. And so therefore, alternative energy sources exist.
Correct.
As we're coming at it the wrong way. We've been taught the wrong way about everything. We've been taught the wrong way because they make money off oil and all of this other stuff that they need to sell us. They monopolize the energy. They control it.
Well, what's energy? Hey, this paper money that I carry around with a triangle and a pyramid with an eye on it, is this money? Is this energy? Hell yes, it's energy. I can't make enough of this fake money. Oh, I'm going to lose my house. My wife's going to leave me. My husband's going to leave me because I can't make enough of this green, fake, stupid money. That's energy. Creates positivity and it also creates negativity. A ton of it.
There's a lot about magnetism and all kinds of stuff acting in these torsion fields. The story I want to tell is about the pyramid. Sure. Where they went down into the tombs and there was a whole underground network under this pyramid. I don't know if it was Giza or not, but when they went down under into the further depths of the pyramid, there was a tunnel system. And as they traveled down this tunnel system, there were lights and they were still working because they operated off the energy coming from the earth and the stones and the things, because
correct.
We don't know about any of that stuff because they have hidden it. So I guess that's where I'm getting at, that there's all this free energy out there that we don't have access to because we're not, what we think of as air is not really air as we know it, or as we've been taught. So talk about moving DNA and doing this soul snatching.
I like your train of thought. I like where you're going.
Yeah.
Go for it.
When you're talking about soul snatching and the way I've heard it described, it's horrific. It's horrific. But this is going to get bizarre.
I don't care.
Can I get bizarre with it?
I don't care.
Okay. They believe.
Go.
You got to hang with me on this.
Can I use the restroom real quick? I have to go. I really do.
Keep talking.
You can talk. I don't. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't want to miss out, but I gotta go just for a second. Can I be right back?
Yeah, I'll just
talk. It's your show. Go for it. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Okay. Now this is going to sound really bizarre, but just hang with me on this because this is what they believe. Okay. The moon. All right. You think it's a moon, you think it's a planet. A lot of you already know this. They think it's a spaceship, it's an asteroid, a hollowed out asteroid, and that their ancestors came they busted through the firmament. This is what they believe, that their ancestors crashed through the firmament into our atmosphere from some sort of, don't ask me, like some kind of star system. Don't ask me, because you do know they're all crazy, don't you? So they believe that their relatives came here after a big, huge civil war in this other star system, crashed through. They deliberately came to Earth. They deliberately crashed through the firmament, deliberately. And they came here, and that they have on the moon a library system where they have their great gods and leaders. They have their souls or their consciousnesses on discs, okay? Or some kind of technology. They have chips, discs, whatever they have. And so the moon is supposedly filled with it's a data center. So when they do their ceremonies, I'm bringing it back around to the occult now. When they do their ceremonies are actually a mixture of the old Babylonian mystery schools and technology, kind of like Parsons did when he redid the, I forgot what they called it, the Babylonian, whatever it was, that spell to break the 8, to break through the dimension. He mixed both the ancient occult practices with technology. So that's what they're doing when they go out to Epstein Island. They do it on certain dates when the torsion energy is very high.
Yes.
And they use blood to reach and talk to their ancestors. What they really want to do is bring these old ones down here and give them bodies.
Correct.
That's what they want to do. So in talking about their rituals and stuff, they use this torsion field and they use it to communicate with these beings, these consciousnesses, and get information and data and knowledge from the consciousnesses that reside on the moon. Okay? I hope I didn't lose anybody on that one. But that's the science behind what they're doing. They do have science behind what they're doing. So that's there you are, you're back. I hope you feel better.
I'm back. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take some more phone calls. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Linda and Thomas. What's your name and where are you from?
Good evening. Hi. It's Mama B. How are you, Miss Ferris and Mr. Thomas? How are you guys?
We're good, Mama B. How are you?
Doing fabulous. Well, listen, I love what you guys are bringing to the table today.
Thank you.
Jamaica. Jamaica is very much into voodoo. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, if we aren't also seeing a little bit of a parallel here with islands and voodoo and this kind of sickery going on. My ex-husband was on an island, the Jamaican island, and they were brought to this. Do you remember there was this lady who owned a hotel there, and she was actually finally arrested for voodoo. They would bring people there, and then they would ransack. This is what happened to my husband, my ex-husband. They ransacked his little place, took all their passports, all their clothes. So they go back to the main house, and they call the cops. Jamaican police come, get them on a bus. They bring them uptown, with whatever they have left. And as they're going on the bus, they see all their clothes on the lines of these people's hanging out to dry or whatever, hanging out, whatever they've done with them. When they came back to the little hut thing or whatever that they rented, and this was later in the evening, they had gone uptown or whatever, there was a dead goat's head in front of the doorstep. And they had the lady at the hotel hold their passports, then they went to go retrieve them, and all of a sudden she claims she doesn't have them, that they're gone. Now, my understanding is this happened several times at this particular property, and worse things, that people just would go missing. So I think that we're onto something. Secondly, going to the light, Linda, when you talked about that, oh my God, I swear a light went off on my head. I was on the table for heart surgery, and they lost me for 4 minutes. And I saw this light, and it kept feeling, it was like an all-white room, but a bright light, and to go towards it. And I could see what was going on below me. I could see my doctor panicking and everything else. God dang it, come on back here. You're too young to go, whatever. And in my mind, I thought that meant don't go to the light, right? But the feeling was so intense. A draw, like a magnetic draw, just like what you're talking about. And then let's get to this, too. Diane Fossey. What did she find up in those mountains? Why haven't we found her body? All these things, islands, caves, they're all correlated. The fall of the Roman Empire, the Egyptians, all of this stuff, the giants. I have giantism in my family. We fall from the Windsor tree. Hello, 5 generations later. we have Masons. We are all part of this. What is that stupid song that she had, Disney? The circle of life, right?
Yes. But yeah, you make a good point. I mean, my great-great-grandfather was a Freemason. So
Right. My grandfather was a Freemason. I never knew it. My father decided not to go that route, I guess. But who knows how that means for my family? And then according to him, now later, he says that my great-grandfather actually wasn't who he was, that he took over the identity of a corpse on a train when he jumped ship from a naval ship from Sweden or something. So we really don't know. And then we're all passing out our DNA to these people to find out where we're from. My goodness.
well, here's
Somebody,
something.
please.
Here's something, Mama B, that you reminded me of something that I really wanted to make this point, and I wrote it down even, that the word history.
Yes.
It's his story.
Story. Yeah, his story.
And
yeah.
That seems sexist.
The reason we don't know anything is because we really don't know anything, and it's because whoever wins the war gets to tell the story. So that's history. It's like whoever wins gets to tell the story. So what we're getting is the winner's version over and over and over again. But the thing that reminded me of it was, we're about ready to win.
We've already won.
I hope so. It scares me. Don't you both, Thomas, don't you really? Do you ever find yourself going, like, how do we know that this isn't a whole nother movement of the same kind of another kind? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't know what kind of kinds we're dealing with anymore.
I do.
You think?
Mama B, I'm
really?
being serious. Yes.
Really?
I already know what
Please,
this is.
I
already know
my
what
heart
it is.
needs to hear that. I need to hear that.
You need reassurance. I'm giving it to you right now.
Yeah, I do, baby. I do.
I'm telling you right now that we were chosen. I say this all the time. We were chosen to witness what we are witnessing right now because we have a purpose. We have an importance. I say this literally all the time on my podcast. We are picked to see this. Our souls were put on this timeline to witness this president. Hey,
it's gotta be, right?
Why else?
It's gotta be.
Why else? How often do humans last? 70 years, 75
How
years
could
if we're good? If we're healthy.
Homeless
Mama B.
If it wasn't happening, right?
Mama B, listen. We're on this earth 75 years if we're healthy. That is a blip of a second. And we are placed on this timeline to witness the greatest president of all time. We are seeing the rebuilding of a empire of America, of the Northern
world.
Hemisphere.
Really? Yeah.
We are witnessing something biblical. I don't know what this is.
Oh, I
think it could be ascension. I don't know. And if anybody wants to yap about that, you can.
Right.
But I know for a fact that there is something more to this than just I'm living and I'm dying and maybe I'm just witnessing something that's kind of cool. I don't think so.
Bless your cotton socks, because I believe the same. I really, truly do. I do. But every now and then
we're doing God's work, Mama B.
Yeah.
You, me, Linda, Red Pill, everybody else, everyone in this chat, everyone who does their job, we're doing God's work. And if anybody wants to debate that, go for it.
Right.
Mama B, I need to go on to some more calls.
Yes,
I really do.
Well, I love you both. God bless you.
Love you too, sweetie.
Socks. God love America.
Love you, Mama B.
Take care.
Love you too. Bye.
Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines with Linda and Thomas. What's your name and where are you from?
Hey, it's Montana Sky calling you from New York City. A fan of both of you guys, big time fans. Been following you guys for at least a year. I wanted to make a couple of comments. Going way back to interdimensionals. First of all, I've actually had a lot of these experiences, so I speak from experience. Interdimensionals do not leave footprints. They come from outside of our dimension. They come here for loosh and for adrenochrome and to abduct and to terrorize. I actually had one trying to take my son. He was like 3 or 4, up in his bedroom, heard the screaming, went upstairs. There is a figure there ready to take my son. And I spoke to it very loudly and screamed at it and told it to leave my kid and et cetera, and to leave. And
did you see it?
there you go. Oh, no, it was a black figure. It was there ready to take my son.
I've seen that.
Yep. Anyway, so that's a comment. They do not leave footprints. They are from out of our dimension. And just as a note, I think a lot of what we conceive of as aliens is really interdimensionals coming in from outside. It's almost as if the other dimensions are like, it's like tissue paper, and people have broken, or entities break through the dimensions.
Correct.
I also wanted to just say that without getting too obtuse here, literally today, one of my friends called me. She actually works the checkout line at a Whole Foods store. And she said, Montana, I've had the weirdest experience this week. Because I had told her that there are many times I'm between the dimensions. So a lot of times people don't see me or don't hear me, and I'm getting used to it. But she had the same thing. She is literally checking out people at Whole Foods, and she's talking to them, do you want a bag, et cetera, and they don't hear her. She said it happened for about 5 or 6 people, and she's really upset. And I just said that there's a timeline break right now. Maybe they're on a different timeline. Maybe you're not on the same dimension. There's just something going on right now. And so your listeners need to know that. And it's just very interesting. And it's important to be positive and to follow Q, and of course, Linda and Thomas and all of the patriots, and just stay high on that timeline. Other comments. Panama, I worked there, and I worked in Venezuela. I used to work for DC internationally, and there is a lot of voodoo and a lot of really unusual things going on down there. So those 2 people, the picture that Linda showed, it actually looked like she was either contorted or had body parts severed, and it was just really odd. So I wanted to just make those comments, and my last comment will be about the blood. I live in the middle of the Khazarian Mafia neighborhood. I grew up in it in Connecticut. I actually emailed Linda last week about the shifts. She might remember. Of course, she's got a zillion emails. But I literally went to school with 2 of Adam's cousins. And I went to my high school reunion about a month and a half ago and saw Jeff Bleish there, who I grew up with. Jeff happens to be the chairman of PG&E. You might have all heard about PG.
Okay.
And wait a minute. And more to that, he was under Obama the ambassador to Australia. So let's think real hard about who would know how to burn up Australia, where to go, who to help, Australia and California. So that was really interesting.
Very interesting.
There's a lot more to that, but I don't want to take up your audience time on that. I did want to say, though, as your previous caller was talking about how she's from the Masons, and I think many of us on the call can say, well, we're from this family or that family, and they evil. How come I'm here now? And I'm from a Khazarian Mafia family, and I live in the middle of it here in Metro New York. And my conclusion is that many of us are here and we're woke and we're cleansing our bloodline. And we can be born of it, but we are overcoming it consciously. We're cleansing it, and it is us that is chosen to go forward. And
I agree.
So I just wanted to share those thoughts. I love you guys. I love your format, and I don't want to take up more of your time here tonight because I know you have other callers. But thank you all so much, and only love and light, not the bad light.
Yes, there is bad light.
Not the demon
Right.
light.
Yeah.
Exactly. Love to both of you. Thank you.
All right, Montana. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Right.
You have any thoughts on that? That's
I do, because
Go
she
for it.
said that the interdimensional beings didn't leave
Someone's
footprints.
shooting
And
fireworks
I thought
outside of my
about
window.
that.
It's so loud. Go for it.
Thought about that about something interdimensional. I also wanted to bring up about the interdimensional things.
Sure.
That 107 was talking about the veil. Okay, the veil, breaking the 8, the veil.
Break the
And
8.
he was talking about when Jesus Christ was crucified, and that when they went in, they saw there was something that was there that was torn,
Okay.
which was the veil, but that it was so tough that you couldn't cut through it or anything with any kind of knife or anything like that. So the veil between, I guess my point is that the veil between the dimensions, you can't cut it with a knife, you can't physically destroy it. It has to be done in a metaphysical way. And I also want to bring up Elizabeth Warren, who stood in front of that arch, which is a demonic arch. It's a replica of a demonic arch. And I didn't know this, but archways represent the door between the dimensions. So when she gave her big, I don't know, she announced, I guess, that she was running or something in front of this arch, which is a reproduction of one of these arches that's out there by the United
Pocahontas.
Yeah. And she, I guess, was, she chose that particular, another breaking the 8 ceremony, it was, that announcement was a breaking the 8 ceremony that she did in front of that arch. So these people are doing spells and ceremonies and all kinds of crap like that right in front of us, and we don't even know it, I guess is what my point is.
Yeah. That's it's typical. Like, it's just like with CERN, like the rituals and like, oh, we're doing dances and it's, hey, this is fun and it's enlightening. No, it's demonic. You're doing something. You're doing a ritual. We're not stupid. But we have 5 callers left. We've got to get to these people before the show ends out tonight. Go ahead. You're on Be on the Headlines. Hello? I don't have time.
Hello?
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 Yes,
Hello?
who's this and where are you from?
Okay. Hi, Thomas. This is Joyce.
Hi, Joyce.
I guess I'm ahead of you guys. Hey,
It's okay.
Great
We got about 6 minutes left in the podcast and we got 4 calls, so we got to buzz through.
I'm going to be really fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Really good show, you guys. Great show. And Linda,
you.
I love you. It's so nice to be able to see Linda like this. And I would love to see you guys when you can just say anything, like you were talking about yesterday, Linda. It's like you have to be so careful about everything you say. But really quick, what I want to say, and you guys were talking about this, one of the things that, and I know the audience freaks out when they hear this, that they have kept from us, and this is huge. Back in the 1600s, they blame the Protestants. I don't know if that's who it was, but our Bible had a lot more books to it. And a lot of people know this, but they're not sure. You can research this and you can look into it. And now you can get the Apocrypha. It used to not be so available, but all of a sudden it's available. I think that tells us something right there. And it goes into all this, you guys. They have kept so much from us. And a lot of it is in there. Now, we've had the Book of Enoch. Those have been around. But it's amazing how it talks about all these interdimensional beings and the things that would be on the earth and the things that, would be under the earth. It's pretty amazing. Yeah. So that, and then there was one other thing, that lady that called about shit the other night. Well, one of the other things, the main thing she didn't mention, when he was in that hotel with the French name,
You're talking about Melinda.
I don't know who it was that called in.
Yes.
It was somebody that called in the other night. Yeah. Well, the FBI had that room bugged with audio.
Correct.
And
Same thing happened in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that French hotel. And they've got everything on audio. And in fact, Nancy Pelosi has a copy of it, and she's holding that over his head. You know how they do
Over
that to
whose
each
head?
other?
Schiff?
Over Schiff's head.
Pencilneck.
Over Pencilneck's head. Go watch and yeah, that came from it's John Here to Help. That's his name.
Yep, that's a whistleblower.
He has a lot of information, and you know how they blackmail each other. Well, she's holding that over his head because there's a lot of information on that audio. So anyways, that's it. Linda, I love it when you bring up those articles that you do from the newspapers and you go over those, showing how they were doing the same thing way back when. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
I know I'm talking so fast, you guys, but I know you got other calls to get to.
It's all gravy.
Hey, what's all the buzz about?
You're fine.
What's all the buzz?
All right. I can't do it like you, Linda.
You did a pretty good job, I have to say.
All right, you guys, have a great night.
You too. Have a good night, Joyce. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
That was great.
Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Who is this and where are you from? Quickly.
Sharon, a.k.a. Cuddly, and
Hi, Sharon.
I really love your show. Love your show, Linda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Two things. First of all, there was a giant killed in Kandahar by the U.S. military. But there are programs that are accountable, that you can trust. That say that there are races of giants, maybe not a whole bunch because they're too big to not be, go unnoticed. But in the Northwest Canada, and Linda, I'll send you a link to those because I have an email, where the Indian tribes move away whenever they get active.
Yeah.
They're still existent. They're still around. And the second thing, and I think they come through that portal that was opened. And here's another thing. Remember when Jesus was crucified, it said that the veil went in two. Now, I wonder if that wasn't a portal between, us and God.
That's kind of where I was
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the call. We're gonna take this off the air because we only have 3 minutes left. So, thank you so much for the call.
Bye,
sweetie. Thank you so much. Bye bye. All right, go ahead, Linda. What do you think about that?
No, I that's kind of what I was hinting at. I just didn't articulate myself very well.
No, you're fine. Hey guys, I'm gonna be honest with you right now. We are 60 followers, not 60 followers, 60 viewers away from an all-time record on this show. If you are enjoying this, please subscribe to mine and Linda's channel. She's at McAllister TV on YouTube, True Reporting on YouTube. If you're here right now, if you could all donate $2 to $3, I would greatly appreciate it. Or just leave a like. If you don't want to donate, leave a like, please. It helps out so much. Let's go ahead and hop into it right now. We're 60 viewers away from an all-time record. Hey, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Who is this and where are you from?
Hi, this is Lee from Seattle.
Lisa?
Lee, yeah, close
Hi,
enough.
Lee. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm going to keep this really brief.
Absolutely.
Linda, thank you for the episodes that you've been doing with 107. Quick two-part question. First one, if you could just briefly recap how you made that initial connection. And number two, as I mentioned, I'm here in Seattle. Seattle and Bellevue, they're really pushing for the smart city AI agenda. We are still getting hammered with the sky spraying, okay? And I'm putting this comment in context of the post-Serial Brain 2 decode. They're not the healing chemtrails. Please, on our behalf for the hundreds of thousands of us here who know about the sky spraying, please ask 107 what's the status of the sky spraying, when will it stop, and perhaps an executive order could be signed to cease and desist. But if you could, on behalf of us, ask him about that. Over to you.
I will, and I'm actually going to interview with him tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So perfect timing. And I believe he goes to your area. You know, he goes all around, but I never know where he is. But I do know he's up there sometimes. So he may be there or something, you know, maybe he's got a report on that, I guess is where I'm going with it. So I'll ask him about that, by the way, I wanted to add, they've been doing the same thing here. I've noticed chemtrails. I don't know what they are, if they're the healing kind or not, but the president is moving down here. So I was thinking they would be the healing kind, but I don't know. Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Hey, you're the last caller tonight on Beyond the Headlines with Linda and Thomas. Where are you from and what's your name?
Hey.
Hi.
My name's Sarah. I'm from West Tennessee.
Sarah?
Yes.
Hi, Sarah.
Hey, I was one of the first people to call in on your live shows, and I talked about aliens, Antarctica, and Space Force. And I got a little bit of grief from chat about it.
You will,
but,
as I do.
Yep. But to Linda, I wanted to ask her, what brought you to research this topic?
Very good question. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was going to write a book when all this stuff happened, when President Trump walked down the stairs and announced he was going to build a wall. I was in the process of writing a book, and it was a book about a serial killer that I had traced to and linked to the Zodiac killer. So I had traced this man. He was a serial killer that got away with it. That's basically what he was. And I was so excited about it and everything. He murdered during the Great Depression, and I got to research all these, and I saved my money. I was going to write the book, and then all this happened. So with all my historical research tools available to me, and I started making connections to the Nazis. You know, I started researching Hitler and the whole occult thing. And honestly, when the WikiLeaks came out and I saw all these James Alefantes, you know, I could tell they were into the occult. I could tell they were into Satanism. I could tell they were into kids. I could tell what they were doing, what they were talking about, making jokes about. I was horrified. And as soon as I found out about Operation Paperclip, I started trying to put the two things together, the Nazis and the occult. And that's when at some point, my research just exploded, because I had all these tools to go back in time and research history because of my book that I was writing. I've been researching it for 10 years. So I have all these historical research tools. And the more I found out about Hitler and Operation Paperclip and the occult and the Vril Society and the Tool Society and all of this stuff, the more fascinated I became. And I thought, this begins to explain everything. They're seeing orbs out there in 1943 and right after World War II, all of these UFO sightings. And then, of course, there's information coming at me from MK Ultra victims and QAnon and serial brain decodes and all of these things. It just got me going on it because I felt like I was really on the right track. And when you feel like you're really on the right track, you can't stop researching because you're like a hound dog or something, bloodhound or something. It's like you can't stop. You know who's really good at that is Corey Diggs.
Yes.
You can tell she stays up all night.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I just became fascinated and obsessed with it. It is a fascinating subject, Hitler and all that, you know.
Absolutely. You know what, Linda? We're at the end of the show.
I know. It goes so fast.
It's 2 hours.
I know.
Thanks to everyone who donated. Thanks to everyone who left the like. Thanks to everyone who called in. Thank you to all the mods who came in today. It was a packed house. We had 2230 in here. That's huge. It's a huge show. My friends, again, please, I cannot reiterate this enough. Go to McAllister TV and subscribe right this minute. Go do it right now. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if your house is on fire. Do it now. Guys, I want to thank everybody. Linda, as always, it was a pleasure. This was, I learned a lot. I think we covered such a vast amount of information. And I think we hit the nail on the head on every subject.
But also,
we did it all.
There's so much more we could be talking.
Oh my God!
Even more to talk about. So
we may need to do a part 2 to this. I'm going to be honest, but we don't have to. We'll talk about that off air, absolutely. But
ultimately, Thomas, I think it's all going to be connected anyway.
Yep, it's all 100%. Linda, where can they find you? I've put your link in the chat at least 5 times. People are saying, hey, where can I find Linda? I throw it in there for them. Where can they find you on Twitter and on YouTube?
I'm at Linda_Paris, at Linda_Paris on Twitter. And you can find me on BitChute, McAllister TV. If anything happens to my channel, because they're planning a big purge coming.
We're protected.
But Thomas will probably be on BitChute too if anything happens, which it probably won't to Thomas.
Or you.
But it might.
No, don't say that. Don't manifest that. Nothing's going to happen to me or you.
Well,
we're doing God's work.
I'm a prepper, so I like to have a plan.
I understand.
So BitChute, that's what I say. McAllister TV on YouTube, McAllister TV on BitChute.
All right.
And you can go to my website at deplorablemcallister.com.
What is it? Deplorablemcallister.com.
McAllister.com.
There you go. I was about to get tongue-tied there. My friends, I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can donate right now, $2 to $3. There's 1,800 people. $2? You can do it. If you can't, leave a like. There should be over 2,000 likes. We're at 1.8 thousand likes right now.
We should promote Red Pill.
Man.
Red Pill having Black Conservative Patriot on.
Tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
Okay, he's on right now. So Black Conservative Patriot is on Red Pill's stream right now. So definitely, we end, he begins. He's on right now. He just started, guys. So definitely, if your night's young and you don't care, hop over to Red Pill's stream right now, guys. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you to Linda, everyone who donated, to the mods, everyone who left a like. Such a good show. I'm so blessed to know you, Linda. You're such a kind, beautiful person, and we will talk to all of you very soon. All right, Linda.
Okay.
Everyone have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.